Chase, you want some music, huh? Yo. We're live, by the way.
Oh, I was like, did you just actually say that? You want some music, Jay?
Ooh.
Oh, um, I'm pretty sure that's not the music my guy's looking for. If I have to be
Nah,
honest.
you looking for that? Uh, Let your
Look at
chain
that
hang low.
camera,
Let it wobble
bro.
to
My
the flow.
camera's looking clean today, my guy. This ain't no MacBook Pro camera. Not today. Let's just hope that it stays that way. What's
Let
up,
your chain.
everybody?
Yeah, what's happening, yo?
So, who we got here in the chat, Badaki?
We got Ryan. We got the big boy Chase. We got time and resources. Gator fan. We got some more people joining in as always. If you can like that video, that definitely helps us. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Today's a Q&A. We're asking all of your fantasy football questions for the 2021 season.
Well, we're not asking their
Sorry,
questions. We're
answering.
answering them.
Duh. You stupid.
This is actually telepathy, or what's that thing where you can read people's minds? Is that telepathy?
Telepathy.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So you just comment your name, and then we're going to know your question automatically. Um, hey guys, if you could do us a real quick favor and show some love, drop a like on this stream right now. Let's see if we can somehow get to 20 likes today. I know that's probably impossible, but with you guys, we might be able to do it. That just helps us reach more people. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We do 3 live streams a week. 2 are mock drafts. 1's a Q&A. Shout out to Chase and Ryan, who were the early gang today. I would like to formally request music, is what Chase says. I think we can make that happen, right, Padaki? We can figure that out.
Yeah, that would definitely be something in the works. Talk It Up is definitely going to have music, so stay tuned. If you guys do not know, we have a show that's going to be happening live every Sunday night football game. We're going to be going
Maybe
live
Thursday night football as well.
maybe Thursday night. We're going to be going live on Sunday night and hopefully Thursday night, where we are going to be watching the games. We won't be showing you the games, but you will be
Yeah.
seeing our reactions to what's happening live in the game. The show is called Talk It Up.
Yep.
We can't
It's
wait.
gonna be dance, bro. If you got no one to watch the games with, now you do.
Yeah, and we're gonna be talking everything that happened throughout that week or throughout that day on
And
Sunday.
for that show, we're actually going to be in the studio together. You and I, we're going to be chilling, and we got our friends who are going to come and have bants as well. We might call some people in. We might have, our followers calling questions like on the live show. Who knows? But I'm pretty hyped for that live show. We got a whole new branding for it. It's going to look sick, and
I'll give you a nice little
we got
sneak peek potentially.
big plans. No sneak
No
peeks,
sneak
bro.
peeks. Okay.
Oh, I care about this so much. I just want the big reveal. Okay, so here's the
Boom.
deal. We're about to go through some of these questions, but just so you know, if you're gonna ask a question, let us know. So, firstly, is it dynasty? Is it redraft? Is it standard, half PPR, or PPR?
Correct.
And
Right.
then let us know your question. That's gonna help us answer it properly. Um, by the way, if you can't see, I'm wearing my Chick-fil-A shirt today. I'm missing it, bro. I'm missing it. There's nothing like Chick-fil-A here in Sydney.
Eat more. Eat more cows. No, eat more chicken. Sorry, that's stupid.
Literally the opposite.
Yeah, eat more chicken.
Um. So Ryan's, what's up, Time and Resources? By the way, Time and Resources, what is your real name? Because I'm gonna try and remember it. Because I feel like when I say Time and Resources, it's like so impersonal. So tell us what your name is, and maybe I'll remember. I don't know. I can't promise. Thanks for joining the stream. Ryan says, "Sup guys? 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty. Wow, that is the specifics we need."
Good start.
12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty. I have Dak and Herbert as my quarterbacks. Sheesh. I have Keenan to stack. If you were me, would you trade Saquon, Keenan, 22 seconds for CD and Akers? Saquon, Keenan for CD and Akers. Or am I not offering enough? Jesus, I'm gonna have to write this one down. I feel like most redraft questions I can just off the top of my head be like, no, this is what you need to do. But with these dynasty questions, I definitely need to write them down. I mean, is anything pop out to you? I think a big question is also like, are you in win now mode? You know what I mean? Like,
I think the first thing that pops into my head is I would want a first for Saquon no matter what. I don't think you're getting 2 seconds. You're getting 22 seconds, but you're also getting CD and Akers. I think I still want. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. would you trade Saquon, Keenan Allen, 2 22 seconds for CD and Akers?
For CD and Akers. Okay,
I would
so
say yes.
I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this. Like, I would prefer the side of Keenan Allen and Saquon Barkley. Um, Look, I love Akers, but you guys know how my thought process of him has changed over the last month. I really do think that Darnell Henderson will play a pivotal role in that backfield. I'm not saying that Akers won't be the guy, he will. But it does make me question what Akers' upside is for this season. So I'm going to stick to the side that I know, which is Keenan Allen, Saquon Barkley, especially if you have a chance to win this year. Because you're not sacrificing for the future, because those are two guys who are ready to come contribute. I don't know, man. It is pretty even.
I think it's pretty even. I think it's pretty even as well. I think it depends on if you want to have a younger team. I think CD and Akers you can win now. Saquon or Keenan you can win now, but you know that Keenan is limited. Well, you get CD, which is not guaranteeing, but at least you're guaranteed. I was gonna say 10 years, but you're guaranteed at least 5 to 8.
He's going to be good for a long time.
Yeah, you know.
You guys are right. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's really what I'm gonna say. Akers obviously is fresh legs is year 2. Saquon coming off that injury. As much as I love Saquon and obviously I'm a Giants fan, that would be a hard trade for me. But I would want a first. Maybe you get one first and a second, something like that. Maybe I'm asking for too much.
I don't think you should give up a first, because you're already giving up Saquon, Keenan.
Oh, he's giving it up. Right. Okay, yes.
I believe he's giving up Saquon, Keenan, in 2 seconds. So I think it's relatively even value. I'll be honest, I don't think you need to give up that much, though. Like, personally, I'm not even sure you need to add the picks in there. If you could just do a straight swap of Keenan Allen, Saquon for Cam Akers and CD, that feels more comfortable to me. So I hope that helps. I don't think you need to give the picks. What's up, Gator fan? Sean, by the way, it is Darrell Henderson. I know. I always say Darnell. I don't know why.
Stupid, man. Cole Beasley.
Stupid. Cole Beasley. Badaki always says Colt Beasley. Sean, what's up, my guy? Shout out to Sean. Sean's playing in our Dynasty leagues this year. Let us know if you want to know how to be a part of those. Which quarterback and running back handcuffs will perform best if the starter goes down? That's a good question. Anyone come to mind to you off the top of your head, Badaki?
Just thinking.
I think if either of the 49er running backs went down, it would be nasty there in San Francisco for whoever steps in.
Which QB and running back handcuffs will perform?
I would say if Melvin Gordon falls, then Javonte is going to be crazy valuable. If Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette gets injured, then the other's going to be extremely valuable. I'm just looking through these.
I'm just thinking of teams that are not necessarily like the first one that came to mind was Mike Davis. We've been talking about the whole time. Javion Hawkins could be a good pickup, but it won't be. I don't think he'll be extremely valuable.
It's hard because we're not even sure if he would be the fill-in guy though at this point. Those are the guys that stood out to me. The guys.
Chuba Hubbard. If CMC goes down again, because obviously Mike Davis was a big waiver wire guy last year. So I see one of those guys.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that.
That's the only ones I can really think of at the moment.
Okay, Gator fan, what would you think of an Eckler Chubb for?
Oh, and it's gone.
First 2 picks of PPR redraft. What would you think?
He retracted his message, so I don't know if he can say
it. /Chubb. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's no longer there for me, so I can't really.
Oh,
I can't really read it.
He'll probably ask it again. Time and Resources, which, by the way, Time and Resources' name is Mitch.
Oh, shout out to Mitch.
Shout out to Mitch. How do I remember this? Time and Resources. Time and Resources makes me think of agriculture. Ditches. Ditches have.
Bitches.
No.
Sorry.
Bitches have bitches. Mitch got bitches. Time and Resources. Mitch got bitches. Okay, that's how I'll try and remember it. We'll see if that works. So today in a startup, I traded the 102, 302, and I got in return 110, 310, 311, and a future first. So you essentially gave up Josh Allen or Kyler Murray, right? And you also gave up the 302. You got the 110, 310, the 311. Ooh. I think I'll be honest with you, that trade is heavily going to rely on what that future first is, in my opinion. If that future first is like a top 5 pick, then I think it's a good trade. But I don't know, man. It's hard to pass up on a Josh Allen, Kyler Murray in a dynasty startup. What do you think of that trade?
Um, I think it depends who falls to him at the 110, in my opinion. If he can
Yeah,
still get a top quarterback, I mean, who fell in our last mock draft? Who was it that went at the 110? That's
I'll have a look
that,
as you say as you talk. I'll have a
that's
look.
kind of what I think about when, I can actually pull it up here. Give me a sec.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Pull it up. Let's have a look.
So this
By the
is
way, guys, who is here and doesn't know what's going on, this is a live Q&A. You can ask us any questions. It can be bants, it can be whatever you want it to be. If it's about fantasy, make sure you know, make sure you let us know. Is it dynasty? Is it redraft? Is it PPR? Half PPR standard? And then that's your question. We're going to answer everyone's questions. So this is our last dynasty startup
so
draft.
essentially you traded the 102. Right, hold on. Let me just go back. You traded the 102, which is technically CMC or any of these three guys: Kyler Murray, Josh
Is
Allen.
that really the last one that we had? That's not the last one we had.
No.
Go to the most recent completed dynasty startup draft.
Oh, I feel
That
that.
one feels like it's old.
Well, this is what completed. My bad. I went to proceeding.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. Yeah, right. Okay, so you essentially gave up the 102, which is obviously Josh Allen, or the 110. So if you are comfortable taking one of these younger guys like a Fields, a Joe, a Trey at the 110, it could be great value in the return, because let's just base every pick that you just received on what happened here. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's really bad, but you gave away the 102, which is Josh Allen. You gave away the 3.2, which is A.J. Brown, and got in return the 110, Justin Fields. Got in return the
But I think that could easily be Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, or Russell Wilson. And
correct.
I'm okay with either of those. I
And
don't
I'm
think
okay
it
with
should have been
that.
Fields.
And then you got in return the 310, which is Devonta Adams. You could have technically gotten Stephon Diggs as well.
Anyone there, yeah.
A Chase, a Terry, if you really wanted. And then the 311. So you could have got Swifty if he does fall that late, Zeke, Joe. So I think that's good.
I think it is. I think it's an even trade. I think it makes sense if you can get one of those top quarterbacks still, or top tier 2 quarterbacks in dynasty. Your Trevor Lawrence's, your Russell Wilson's, Joe Burrows. So if you get one of those guys, I'm cool with it.
I
But
mean,
again, I do think like if that future first is like the last first in that round, it's gonna look worse. So it's hard to grade future picks, but I hope that helps. I get it. It really depends on how the draft falls for him.
yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. But I actually don't mind at 310. If you can get Devontae or Swifty, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Like absolutely, and you still got value, and you gave up your 1.2 for Josh Allen. You wouldn't have gotten technically you gave up the 1.2 and the 3.2 with AJ Brown, but you still could
yeah.
get a Diggs at the 311 though, as an example,
Hmm.
according to this mock draft. So I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
I don't mind it either. Last thing, someone commented saying if Kamara goes down, then Latavius Murray will be huge, and that is true as well. All right, guys, if you're watching, if you could do us a favor, just drop a like on this video, show us some love. That's just going to help us reach more people. We're doing a Q&A right now, answering any questions that you have. Oh my God.
Oh man, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? Hey, Jinx. You owe me $100 million, please.
One day,
Okay, so Chase says that sounds awesome. Looking forward to talking it up. Hell yeah, bro. We're
bro.
excited for that show as well. And
If you guys just came, we said that we're doing a show. It's called Talk It Up every Sunday night. Hopefully Thursday night football. We're gonna be going live on YouTube and Twitch, and
yeah,
we're just gonna be talking about everything fantasy. We're gonna be
yeah.
doing our live reactions of that first game. So, for example, opening game, we're definitely gonna be starting that opening game. I'm pretty sure Cowboys Bucks is gonna be popping
Yes.
off, man. it's gonna pop off, and we're gonna we really want to hype up week 1. We really want to create a really cool community where we just talk about fantasy the whole time. YouTube and Twitch, talk it up. Stay or be looking out for that.
100%. Okay, next question. Well, Sean said, instead of music, could you do best bits from Mic'd Up? So we might be able to do that, but I think it might be copyrighted if we did that. You know, I have a feeling that would probably be copyrighted, and that's the unfortunate part of copyright. Is like any cool thing you want to put from the NFL on your page. That's why we don't actually put footage. If you guys notice in our YouTube videos, we don't typically put footage of these players when we talk about them because our videos will get flagged and copyrighted, and our account will be banned because the NFL's little snitches. But yeah.
Okay, Dynasty 12 team. Mitch, Dynasty 12 team, Superflex PPR. I wish they would have asked for my real name. Right, makes sense.
Chase, is your real name not Chase? Let us know if it's not Chase, because that would be funny. Time Resources said he made this account like 10 years ago. Yes, but Mitch is still getting bitches, and we know that's true. Mark, what's up, my guy? Mark, in a 14-team Dynasty League PPR Superflex, would you trade Clyde, Sutton, and a 2023 first for Akers, Gallup, Sanders, and a 2023 second? Sorry. All right, so let me write this down, but can you do me a favor? You know I like to write these down. Can you just tell me the first side of this?
Clyde, Sutton, and a 2023 first.
Clyde, Sutton, and a 2023 first. Is that right?
For Akers, Gallup, Curtis, and a 2023 second. Look, Mark, I'll tell you my first impressions right off the bat. I'm going to say no. Why? Because I believe there's tremendous value there for CEH. Cortland Sutton, I think he's going to come back and have a bounce back year, even if it's Drew Luck or if it's Teddy. We still don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of upside there for the Denver Broncos because wasn't Deshaun targeting the Broncos? That was one of the teams that was targeting Deshaun. Sorry, and the Broncos were also targeting. Right? Yeah, Broncos were also targeting Aaron Rodgers. Not saying that that's going to happen, but there's a lot of upside there for Cortland Sutton. I'm a huge fan of Cortland Sutton. I have him high in my rankings, but CEH is the guy. Yeah. He's on one of the best offenses in the NFL. Yes, he's on a pass offense, but they will integrate him more in the run game and in the pass game. So I would rather have. It's hard. It's really back to back Clyde and Akers. I'm pretty sure I have Akers high in my rankings, but Clyde is right there for me.
Yeah, I don't want to give up the first either. I think that's where it puts me over the edge. Where I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to give up my first to get rid of Clyde and get Akers. Like, we don't know out of Akers and Clyde who's gonna have the better fantasy career. We don't. It could be Clyde. Like, people are downplaying Clyde way too much. So there's just not enough guarantees for me to pull the trigger there.
Yeah, and I also believe that Michael Gallup, yes, he's a great addition. He can be a good wide receiver on a different team. Obviously, he's wide receiver 3. I called him wide receiver 3 all last year. Curtis Samuel, yes, he is also a good addition now at Washington. But we just don't know what's going to happen, really. We really just don't know what's going to happen. So I would rather have Cortland Sutton. Yes, he's coming off that ACL injury.
I can't wait to talk about the NFC East, by the way, on the podcast today. We're about to record a podcast after this live stream. And we did the AFC East last week. We're doing the NFC East today. And that's, for whatever reason, talking about football very generally is always like the best bants possible.
100%.
Anyway, I don't think either of us would do that trade.
No.
What's up, Lakers? My guy. You're right. It is Daryl. Mark says Akers is going to get all the receptions with Brown gone. Yes, Akers will get a good amount of receptions, but what we have to remember, I know I hound on this in our mock drafts all the time, but Darrell Henderson was also a second-round pick, the same as Cam Akers, guys. So if you think that Cam Akers is about to get a Todd Gurley type workload, I would just caution you to pause, think, did that work for the future of Todd Gurley? Does Sean McVay want to do that again? Or does he want to utilize these two backs in the backfield? Let's see. Ed Mack. What's up, my guy, Ed? Ed signed up to Best of Both Worlds tier. So he's going to be playing in both of our follower leagues, the Redraft and Dynasty. Shout out to him. One player going in the first 4 rounds that y'all think will bust. Ooh, let's do this for PPR. because I think that would be more fun. Pull up our latest PPR mock draft with the community, Badaki, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull it up as well. Let's have a look. So a player going in the first 4 rounds that we think is going to bust. Let's see.
Oh
The
gosh, that's
first
the wrong one.
4 rounds.
Completed PPR. Here we go.
It's so hard to like. All these players are so good.
I'll be honest.
It's so
with you.
hard to say that one's gonna bust.
I'm just gonna tell you who first comes to mind. I think of a Michael Thomas.
No way.
I know that sounds crazy. I'm thinking Michael Thomas without Drew Brees. First 4 rounds. I'm thinking of a.
It's hard to say that any of these people will bust, but like some of them won't return the value, I guess, that you spent on them. Someone that comes to mind to me, I'm honestly saying that, and I'm trying to look.
Yeah.
Is like I think it's a cop out because it's at the end of the fourth, but Kareem Hunt, I can't promise you that he's going to return the value that you're going to spend on him with a 4th-round pick. That feels like a cop out. I mean, even Justin Jefferson at the 3.2. You guys have heard me speak about Justin Jefferson. To be clear, I love Justin Jefferson, but taking him at the 3.2, I can't promise you that you're going to get that value in return.
Right. I mean, that's
people
really...
are going to hate me for saying that. Joe Mixon at the 2.5. I mean, that feels like a prime bust, in my opinion.
I think for me it has to be MT. Maybe a. Ooh, I mean, I'm gonna go really bold here, and I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's gonna finish as a top 6 running back, and you're taking at the 1.6 as an example. I think he's super overvalued at the moment. I think he'll finish around 11 to 15 area, running back 15. So I think I think people are taking him way too high, in my personal opinion.
Is this Jonathan Taylor? Sorry.
Yeah.
You're crazy. I mean, look, we have
12 to 15. I feel like that's pretty.
You're crazy.
Good.
Dude. This
I don't
guy's
know.
got top 5 upside. Top 5 upside.
He has.
We're always gonna disagree.
He has top 5 upside, but I mean, I don't think he's gonna finish. I don't think he's gonna finish top 5.
I feel so differently to
I really want
that is probably the one player we disagree on the most this offseason.
I really want to put like a bet. I wish we had like spin bets or something. Not money, but like a challenge. You know how like other people
would love to make
have
like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Because I feel like saying he finishes top 8 is like that's a lock for me. And it feels like it's a lock for you for him not to finish top 8.
I'm uncomfortable saying he's going to finish top 8. I'm more comfortable saying he can finish top 10.
Maybe that's the line there. Maybe that's the bet.
If he
I'm going to say he's going to finish top 8 in PPR fantasy scoring formats. You are going to say he's going to finish outside the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the bet? I don't know. Like, what do we do?
I honestly don't know. Maybe the community can decide.
Maybe one of us has to wear a sign that says I suck at fantasy football, and we have to go into the city or something and wear it for an hour and record it so people can see.
No one cares about that in Australia, bro.
I know, but still, it'd be funny. People be like, "Wait, mate, what is that?" Anyway, that could be funny.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely try something. I don't know. I think we can find something a little bit better that like the community can be a part of type vibe. Okay. You know.
Okay.
But I do like it. I don't see him finishing top 8.
Maybe we just do a live stream, and on the live stream, it's just one of us, whoever it is, and we have to hold a sign that says "I was wrong" about Jonathan Taylor. It's literally just a live stream, and you have to stand there for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And get shamed on. I don't know. Like, let us know what you guys think. It is hot as hell in here. What is going on? What's the next question? I think it's the Lakers.
Was it?
Yeah.
Rank Ayuk, Judy, Claypool for Dynasty. Ayuk, Judy, Claypool. That's exactly how I would rank it potentially.
Let me look at my Dynasty rankings before I answer.
I know I have Ayuk higher than Judy higher than Claypool. That's exactly how I would rank it.
I'm pretty certain I'm the same. So Ayuk is my wide receiver 18. Judy is my wide receiver 19. And what was the other player?
Claypool,
yeah. So it is Ayuk, Judy, and Claypool for me.
Yeah, I'll just double check it.
All right, Jerry's my wide receiver 20.
Yeah, Ayuk, Jerry, Claypool,
yeah,
100%.
So we see that similarly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think it's Gator.
Is it Gator? Okay, I want to reword the question. If you're in one of the last draft 2 slots, would you feel good taking Eckler and Chubb with your first 2 picks PPR draft?
Okay. So you would start a draft with Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb. Hell yeah. Of course I'd be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's drafting on the edges of a PPR draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying if I could start with my first and second draft where it comes back, if I could get Eckler and Chubb, is that something I'm hell yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't
That's an
mind that.
amazing way to start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's good. Why not go for that?
Yeah.
Lakers also, if you're in a startup 10-man 25 roster spot, how many QBs should you leave with?
Well, okay, 10 man, 25 roster spots. So I'm assuming this is Dynasty, right?
I would say
Do you
like
feel like it's
there's gonna be
Dynasty as well?
there's a lot of extra people. I would say 3, 4. I think keep it simple.
I would say 4, yeah.
You
I would
know,
say 4. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of extra spots. I would say 4 quarterbacks at least. That's the minimum now that I think about it. At least 4 quarterbacks.
yeah. All right, time and
Actually,
resources.
you know what though? Like,
Huh?
it's a 10-team league, so there's gonna be even more valuable quarterbacks. I
Yeah,
would say 4 is the absolute minimum. You can have more. 5 max. 4 or
yeah.
5 max. Yeah.
Back to that one question with time and resources. He still has his 211 with that trade. He said I
Yeah.
would rather go Joe or Russ at the 110. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
So
Same. We didn't understand
yeah. So I think
why
that
they
works.
went with Fields in our latest one. What's the next question?
Mark, if I'm a win now 12-team PPR, is it worth a 2022 first for Woods?
For Woods?
Roberto Woods? I would do that.
A 2022 first, and you don't know where it's gonna be, right? So let's just say
Let's just
it's
say
in the
like
middle of the round.
yeah. If he's a win now team, you're expecting him to be towards the technically towards the top, which means towards the end of the draft. So let's say you finish 4th, which is 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So 8, obviously. That's still good value.
Yeah, I think yeah. Okay, yeah. You know what? It is if you're win now team, that is decent value. But you have to realize you could be if you're not the team that you thought you were, you could be giving up this year's Jamar Chase. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that is the thought process that has to go through your mind. You need to look at the other teams in your league and say, am I really win now mode? And does this really put me over the top to beat this other team that's win now mode? Because if it doesn't, you could be overestimating your value of your team, and you could miss out on this year's Devonta Smith, this year's Jamar Chase, Javonte Williams. So I would say yes if it truly does put you over the top.
All right, your boy breaks the foundation. DJ Chark or Chenault PPR? I'm taking Chenault. I think there's no doubt about it. I'll take my shot on Chenault. Sean, how many stocks are you putting into lead new?
Do I get to answer that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What? I thought we had it the same. I didn't answer that question. No,
So-
I'm sorry. Go for it. I'm sorry. Oh,
I would go Chanel.
thanks for your input, man.
I just wanted to be heard, bro. I just want to be heard.
Sean, how much stock are you putting into lead New England back in PPR redraft and Dynasty?
Question. So that would be Damien Harris.
Yes, correct.
I think
I'm gonna have a
Go
couple.
ahead.
I'm personally gonna have a couple shares of Damien. I'm not gonna go crazy. I think if I'm gonna get Damien, I'm going to try to get Ramondre Stevenson in those late rounds to kind of lock up that backfield. There's already reports that Sony is not going to get re-signed. James White, I think this is the last year of his contract as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He just re-signed on a 1 year, I think. So in our latest mock draft, you can pull it up if you want, a Dynasty mock draft. Damien Harris went in the 8th round. So players after him were Chase Edmonds, Mike Davis. I think that's good value there in the 8th round. If I can get Damien Harris in the 8th round and he could be my 3rd running back, my 4th running back in Dynasty, I'm really comfortable with that. Do you agree?
Yeah, where's Damien? Yeah, okay. So Damien Harris is right here.
Well, I think that's a good
OJ
spot for
Splash
Damien
team.
Harris in a Dynasty league.
8.5. Yeah, I think it's a good spot. I think he's probably I think he's a top the top low end tiers of running backs, if that makes
Let's
sense.
talk about redraft quickly because we can go to the latest redraft mock draft. He went at the 7-11. Do you remember I took a chance? Oh, wait, no, I grabbed him. Dude, I love this mock draft of mine. Holy shit, if I could start my teams that way. This is such a good draft for me. I'm just want you to show the people now. So Damian Harris went to 7-11. I think that's amazing value in a redraft league. A guy who's pretty much guaranteed locked in at least 15 touches a game.
Yeah, I mean, just look at who's going after him. Michael Carter, Trey, Melvin. I mean, Trey and Michael Carter kind of don't really. I think that's pretty even. But anyways, Melvin, a Moss, a Connor, a Drake. I mean, you're not any of all these guys are nothing essentially. I mean, Zach Moss. Hopefully, there's some upside, but I would rather have a Damian Harris over Zach Moss.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 100%. I will take Damian Harris over David Johnson. Someone took a David Johnson.
Yes.
Raheem Mostert.
Having Damian Harris as my RB3 feels so comfortable to me in a redraft league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy? I know we just released a video on Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, which one you should be drafting. It's on YouTube right now. It's our latest video. You can go check it out. We're not going to go into too much detail, but it's interesting. Raheem Mostert went at the 7-1. Trey Sermon at the 8-2. This is a trend we need to follow throughout this offseason.
And that's why I went.
Kind of see where these start to fall.
Mm-hmm. If you go watch that video, you're gonna see who I picked. You're gonna be surprised that it wasn't the person you thought I picked. But I think this gonna flip. It's gonna flop, bro. It's gonna flop.
What? Well, not the players, right?
I think
you're saying their positions are going to flip flop.
Their ADP is gonna flip flop.
Because the word flop and flip flop, I think, mean two.
Yeah, you're right.
Things.
They're going. Their ADP is going to flip flop.
They're gonna flop, bro. I mean, they're all shit, no, bro. Anyway, go watch the video. Drop a like. Show some love.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question.
Gator fan, this is a multi-part question. Depending on the team, would you rather take a running back handcuff if you already had the starter, or if another owner has them and then the starter goes down, you can have an awesome upside? What would be a running back and a wide receiver for each of you in rounds 3 to 5 that you are staying away from in PPR?
I need to read that again.
Yeah, that's
so.
You read it. Read it out loud.
Depending on the team, would you rather take a running back's handcuff if you already have the starter, or if another owner has them, and if the starter goes down, could you have awesome upside? So, I mean, so here's the issue with taking a handcuff, right? Last year, you had Dalvin Cook, right? I had Alexander Madison, and I had him for almost half the year. And
yeah,
he was just there in case Dalvin Cook went down. Dalvin Cook went down. He missed one game, and Alexander Madison was absolute poo-poo. Just real bad. Just shit.
Terrible.
Like under 6 points PPR shit. So I'm not putting too much stock into making sure I grab a handcuff unless it's on my team, right? If I grab CMC 101, my last pick's going to be Chuba Hubbard. If I grab Aaron Jones, I'm going to try and grab A.J. Dillon. What you want to try and do is with these handcuffs, who do you think's going to have a role even if their big guy doesn't go down, right?
Yeah.
Like Madison's role isn't worth even thinking about if Dalvin Cook doesn't go down.
Yeah.
But Latavius Murray could be valuable even with Kamara. A.J. Dillon could potentially be valuable even with Kamara.
You think of Gus, like Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards.
You think of Darrell Henderson.
Darrell Henderson.
I mean, these guys aren't exciting, but Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. You think of, let's say Trey Sermon does get the start. Why not pick up a Raheem Mostert? And obviously he's not doesn't stay healthy, but maybe he can be something a couple weeks. You think of those weeks.
I would say this, like, if if you have Dalvin Cook, grab Madison, right? If you don't have Dalvin Cook, you can still grab Madison with like your last pick. You need to try and trade him in the first couple weeks to the Cook owner. Because if you don't, you could find yourself 7 weeks in with Alexander Madison on your bench and you want to pick up waiver wires, but you're like, oh, what if Dalvin Cook goes down? That is such a like restricted way to play fantasy. So I hope that helps. I feel like that was a good answer. I don't know if it was. I hope it was.
Yeah, I think it's two-part. What would be a running back and a wide receiver for each of you in rounds 3 to 5 that you are staying?
That's a separate question. Let's answer Ed Max for question.
Okay. Julio.
By the way, just everyone who's watching, we are going to answer all your questions. We'll answer them in detail. Just make sure you let us know. Is it redraft? Is it dynasty? Is it PPR? Half PPR? Or standard? And if you could show some love to us, just drop a like on this video. That's going to help us reach more people. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We got 3 live streams a week. All right, Julio, CD, and Amari Coop on the board. Who are you picking? PPR redraft. For me, it would be it would be CD Lamb.
Yeah,
Do you see it the same way?
It would be between CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, but I think we both lean CeeDee Lamb. He could be the wide receiver 1 there. He plays in the slot. Dak Prescott's back. What Dak was in,
You know what? He's starting to play all over the field too. CD. So
I mean,
he could line up in multiple different places.
I love it. I love CeeDee Lamb. I'm so happy I have him in Dynasty.
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm gonna be slightly different than you. I would go CeeDee Lamb, Julio Jones, and then Amari Cooper. That's how I would kind of stack it up. I do think CD takes the wide receiver 1 role this year, and I think that it's AJ and Julio. Like those dudes are the guys there. So, I mean, same with Amari, right? But I just feel more comfortable with a Julio Jones than an Amari Cooper on my team, and I could be wrong. That's just how I see it. Okay. Sean says, great idea, Badaki. I have a wheel where the Patreon supporters pick the ideas, spin when you have a disagreement. Loser has to do the thing like wear a cheese wedge hat for an entire live stream.
That's
pretty funny.
That's just Benz. I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I like it. What's your Patreon for, by the way, Sean? That's cool, man.
Wait, does he have it?
I guess he has a Patreon, yeah. By the way, this is a good time to plug our Patreon.
He's talking about us. He said, Daggy, have a wheel tree where Patreon supporters pick ideas. You freaking
So what you have to realize is I'm kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So I miss things sometimes. I was like, oh, you got a Patreon, bro? That's sick. We have one too.
Bro, you sign up to ours? We sign up to yours, bro. Yeah.
So this is a good time to plug Patreon. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Patreon.com/FantasylandFam. The description is in the bio. I'm pretty sure Zach can probably put it in the chat as well. 3 different tiers where you can play fantasy football with us. 1 redraft, 1 dynasty, and 1 best of both worlds where you can play both. Okay? We also have a close friends tier and a close friends plus, one just to support the show, and another tier that is going to support the show, but you get unlimited Q&A at any time with a hotline for Zach and I where we're going to be answering any of your questions throughout the season. For those people that do sign up to a Dynasty League or a Redraft League, you do unlock a bonus episode. You unlock a lot of exclusive rankings. Everything. Yeah. There's so much. Check it out.
That Fantasy Hotline is big as well. Like last year, we had hundreds of people DM us every day on Instagram, and we helped everyone for free, but it was just too much, even for us mentally. Like we were like, we can't do this again. It was so much, and we also want to make sure we give good answers. So everything from the close friends plus tier above, you get a fantasy hotline, direct line to us, and we're going to answer your questions. Keep in mind we're in Sydney, so anyway, nice little plug there. All right, I see Jay Freeman's question. I see Gator's questions. We're going to answer those. Gator says, what would be a running back and wide receiver for each of you in rounds 3 to 5 that you are staying away from? Okay, let's have a look at where the draft board fell in our last one.
Rounds 3 to 5. Someone I'm personally staying away from 3 to 5 would probably wide receiver. I guess according to the board, I'm staying away from a
DJ Moore. That's my answer always.
Well, I mean, where did DJ Moore? Yeah, 5. Yeah, DJ Moore. I think if I had to pick a running back,
I'll just say quickly. Sorry about DJ Moore though. In our mock drafts, he's always going to be lower on the board than all the other mock drafts out there because we just talk him down constantly, and it's not because we don't like him. We're going to release a video about this really soon. That's very detailed about DJ Moore. But I think my instant answer for wide receiver would be DJ Moore. Do you have any others?
I mean, that's all I can think of. I'm just thinking. I'm going through every single person here.
Yeah. How about running backs?
I'm trying to think of running backs as well. Like me, I'm probably not a person that's in love with Kareem Hunt. I know he kind of went off last year, but I think a lot of that was due to Chubb being out. I don't think he's going to be as valuable taking him at the
Yeah.
411 this year. So that's somebody that I'm avoiding.
I throw a wild card out there.
Hmm.
If indeed Aaron Rodgers does not return to Green Bay, you will not find me taking Aaron Jones in the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
Not I won't be taking him in the first 2 rounds. So something to follow up.
Say less.
All right. I'll say less. You go ahead.
Okay. Jay Freeman, how do you guys feel about the Week 14 buys? Are you pushing the playoffs back? If so, how do you balance the schedule in a 10 team PPR 2 division league?
That's a good question,
I
man. That's a
kind of brought
really,
that up
really good
already.
question.
So it's Week 14 of the season already.
You know what's interesting? Um, I haven't noticed, at least on Sleeper, I haven't noticed them update the 17 game, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is when I go to playoffs, which where is that? Draft settings. Let's see. No, I think it's just league settings.
Well, you can go to
When I go to the playoffs and I look at like general league settings, we always like to do 6 team playoffs. It's just fun to have 6 teams involved. And typically what we do is 3 weeks of it. So, you know, the 1 and 2 seeds have a bye and then right. So
yeah, I'm
that
trying to see
hopefully makes
how.
sense.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
look, 4
if
teams
it's
have a bye on the 14th.
we have playoffs starting week 15. So that would mean week 15 is round 1, 16 is
Round
round 2,
two.
and week 17 is a championship because there's now 18 weeks. Um the week 14 bye, it really does suck, I have to be honest. You know what though? Something that we do quite often in a segment that we have throughout the season on our podcast, and we'll definitely have it on YouTube this year, is our trade for and trade away targets. And there will be a point in the season where certain players will have already have their bye and their schedules are going to look nice.
Hmm.
And we'll probably in redraft, not dynasty, in redraft, we'll be looking to trade those guys who have the week 11, 12, 13, 14 bye weeks to get someone who's already had a bye,
Yeah, there's a lot of
and
valuable
maybe
people
maybe
there.
they're one step lower in our rankings, but we're gonna do that because we're still fighting for the playoffs. We need these guys in our lineup, so
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna affect my strategy looking at a week 14 player. Because who's a week 14 bye?
Colts. It's Colts, Eagles, Patriots, Dolphins.
Okay,
I mean, if you think about it, Michael Pittman, JT, Gaskin, Tua, Kazeki, Parker, Harris. I mean, if Jacoby Myers is something, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry,
yeah,
Miles, Devonta Smith, Tua,
Goddard.
Goddard. So I mean, that's a lot of
There's a
big
lot of
fantasy
yeah,
players
that's a
there.
lot of big names.
I mean,
I
the
mean,
biggest one is JT. I mean, if you're trying to make a
yeah.
playoff push and JT doesn't is not playing for you that week, that really hurts you.
Well, I think it also depends on where you are, right? If you're like the 1 or 2 seed, you're like,
You're fine. You're
look,
chilling.
I can cop like an L if I need to this week, and I'm still good.
Hmm.
So what you don't want to do is just trade because of bye weeks. Like you don't bye week trade, right? Because you could be getting rid of a really valuable player. But
Bro,
man, it
week
really
7
depends.
has a lot of buys too. I'm pretty, at least, sorry, maybe I'm just being, my team specifically
Yeah,
for our league, I think half my team is on a buy.
it's just the
Our
dynasty league
dynasty,
we did with
our
our friend.
dynasty league, week
Yeah,
7. Hold on. Herbert's on a buy.
yeah.
CD's on a buy. Who else? I mean, I thought there was a lot more. GG's then. Never mind.
This was well worth the time.
Jokes on me, boys. Jokes on me.
um. Anyway, it's definitely going to affect the way I look at a strategy this year, and it really depends on the position I'm in. I imagine us having a lot of conversations about that week 14 bye this year. Gator fan says, "Would you be okay with having Trevor Lawrence in Superflex PPR redraft as your second quarterback, or would he need to be your third quarterback?" That's a really good question. So this isn't Dynasty, right? So that makes it a little bit more difficult. in a, I think there might be better options because I think I would be going risk aversion. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be an amazing quarterback in the NFL, but it's not common for rookie quarterbacks to come out and light the league up in fantasy. You know, Justin Herbert is an outlier. Think about, like, I don't want to go all the way back, but think about Peyton Manning in his first, like, he was not nice. It took time for him to develop. So I'm thinking Trevor Lawrence. Who would I rather have as my second quarterback? I would rather have Derek Carr. I know this is going to be a little bit of like a surprise to some people. In not in Dynasty. This is just redraft. As my second quarterback, I would rather have Kirk Cousins. I would rather have
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I think he's the like Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback 24 in redraft leagues this year. So he is the last guy that I'm okay having as my second quarterback, but that doesn't mean I really want that to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't go as far as a Derek Carr as my QB2. I think for me,
I don't want Derek Carr as my QB2 either. I'm just saying if I
right,
had to choose between him and Trevor Lawrence, I know what I'm going to get from Derek Carr.
right. I think I will. Me personally, I would be taking the chance. You know, I would. I do agree with a Kirk Cousins, a Matt Ryan. I think of a Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
name. How about Carson Wentz?
I think yeah, I like
I think
Carson
I would go
Wentz.
Wentz.
Um, that's probably it. I would take my chance on Trevor Lawrence. I would take my chance on a Tua as well.
Right.
But that's just me. You know, like
Okay.
you know,
I mean, again, I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be an amazing quarterback in this league. I just don't want to, like, in a redraft league, I'm not getting him next year anyway. So, I mean, I would probably take the risk aversion approach. Tommy Gunn, what's up, my guy? Thanks for joining the stream. Anyone who's watching, and if you haven't dropped a like, just drop a like to show some love. It's going to help us reach more people. Hi, guys. Which running back has the highest dynasty upside? Javonte Williams or Travis Etienne? I love
which
that
running back has the
question.
highest dynasty upside? Javonte Williams. Oh,
Can I start by saying these, like both of these guys, have a chance to be fantasy monsters in their career? Okay. Travis Etienne, I said it on yesterday's live stream. I feel like if you could make a mold of Alvin Kamara, it would be Travis Etienne, right? And Alvin Kamara kind of paved the way for running backs like Travis Etienne to have a chance to be like fantasy superstars.
right.
He kind of paved the way and showed teams how can you use guys who aren't just like these bruisers. So, I mean, in a PPR dynasty league, I mean, Etienne has everything you need to be a superstar. I think Javonte Williams is also there. He's still a good pass catching back. He's obviously more of a bruiser. Um, I would go Etienne over Javonte Williams. What about you? But
Yeah,
it's both of these guys are going to be great. By the way, I have both of them in many dynasty leagues.
I think I do agree that it's Travis. I want to lean towards Javante just to be different. But I think my biggest question is that what are they going to do with James? Melvin's gone after this year.
Yeah.
I think we can agree that he's gone. So Javante, if they don't bring anyone in, excuse me, to compete with him, it's Javante's role the whole way.
Right.
So where for Etienne, he still has James Robinson. He does have that competition. Is James Robinson going to be that goal line back? Is Etienne just going to be a pass catching back? You probably see him. I don't know, man. I would say Javante.
I feel so confident
I'm
that
confident
Travis
too.
Etienne is going to be the clear running back one by this time next year.
They're just gonna say thanks, James. Thanks for your time, James. We appreciate you.
This is an undrafted rookie who, by the way, balled out. But it's not really going to hurt you to not have him a part of the game plan. He's a great like running back depth piece. They're not going to trade him because you just don't get trade value for running backs, right? But I just keep going back to this one point, okay? a coach is always going to be defined by the players they bring in. Okay, you brought in Travis Etienne, Urban Meyer. You brought in Trevor Lawrence. Your career in the NFL is going to ride on those two guys. James Robinson, you didn't bring him in. He was given to you. And if they really truly thought James Robinson was the RB1, there's just no way in hell you're going to spend a first round pick on Travis Etienne. So it's Etienne to me.
Okay.
Dan Ross, you want to answer his question?
Yeah, Dan, what's up, Dan? Thanks for joining the live stream. I don't know if we've ever had you in. If we have, sorry about that. What do you think of these league setting? It's a 10-team dynasty league, and we are going to have 2 superflex, 2 tight end spots.
Oh, wow.
To make them more valuable. Is this good?
Sheesh, man.
It's different.
I mean, it is different. I'll say I feel like there are so many leagues out there where the commissioner's like, let me push all the buttons. It's like when you get like in a movie when you hop into the Millennium Falcon, you're like, oh, I want to push every single button. Let's make everything happen. This is awesome. I just think like sometimes we just are too extra with our league settings. Like it's okay. So you're getting 2 super flexes. That means you could play 3 quarterbacks at any time. That's too much for me. Like there's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I guess it is a 10-team league. So there's going to be people who only have 2 starting quarterbacks on their team.
Yeah.
And you can start 3. So I think purely because of the rosters of the NFL, you're going to be at a disadvantage if you don't have 3 starting quarterbacks. And that sucks. Do you agree? Like, do you get what I'm saying with that?
No, I agree. Sorry, I'm just reading this Texas Democrat. Hi, the Texans are not the worst team in the NFL. Happy for you, bro. We're praying for Texas and the Texans.
Hey, Texans. That's pretty funny, actually. Who is the worst team in the NFL, though? That's the question, then. If it's not the Texans, that's really funny. So, 2 tight ends.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to do something like that. Okay. It's a 10-team league. There's going to be more players available, more quarterbacks available, more tight ends available. I think it's great. I think if it was a 12-team, it'd be too much. I do agree that like let's just keep it simple. You know, let's just play fantasy. But maybe they just want to switch it up this year. So
yeah, to me it just seems extra. It's like, do we really need to have all that? People are going to be at a disadvantage. Tight ends. I mean, you can play 2 tight ends, so that means that. Think about that's the thing. Think about the top 24 tight end. Who is the 24th tight end in your redraft rankings right now, Vadaki? This is kind of maybe going to show what I'm trying to say.
Okay, let me just pull it up. Redraft.
So in my redraft rankings, my tight end 24 is
Jared Cook.
Is Zach Ertz. I don't know if he's even going to play. But Austin Hooper is my tight end 25. So you're going to have to start him every week. And you're going to have guys like Jack Doyle on your benches. Tyler Eifert on your bench because you have to start 2 tight ends. You know, there's going to be 3 tight ends at least on every team. I don't know. I mean, it is fun. You're right. It's different. It's fun to switch it up. But I think it's extra. That's just how I feel.
I feel you. All right, Gator fan. Since my commissioner in the home league is wanting to stick with 5 bench spots, do you have any additional advice for roster construction? As a reminder, the rest of the setup is PPR redraft, 2 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, 1 defense, 1 kicker. It's a 12-team. Sorry. He's a 12 team.
I mean, I would say you should have at least 6 bench spots. You have 2 cornerbacks. Like even in a 1 quarterback league and a 1 flex league, 5 bench spots, it's hard to go through the bye weeks, to get different, defenses and kickers on a bye week. And in this scenario, you only have 5 bench spots. I mean, you have to have at least 6 or 7 bench spots. But draft advice for that, I mean, you're really in a hard position because you really want 3 quarterbacks, but you also have to have 2 regular flexes. So you need depth at wide receiver and running back as well. This is like just
So
putting you in such a bad position.
I think the play there is you either go all in on the three quarterbacks and hope that those guys are your guys, and you do that, or you just go the wide receiver route and you have massive depth in wide receiver position, and hoping like you can go three. I mean, can he really do that? I was gonna say, what if you really change it up? Gator fan, I would say the next time you go to a mock draft with us, you should try doing. It may sound
No,
dumb.
no, because no one's going to be drafting the way they are. That's not going to work. The
Yeah,
board's not
true.
going to look anything like it would for him.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just trying to think like,
that's really hard to mock draft as well because you're going to have to do very specific settings. My instant reaction is quarterbacks are going to be more valuable, obviously, because you have to start two. It's not even a super flex. You have to start two quarterbacks. So I would be getting my quarterbacks in early, my running backs in early, and then I personally would say wait on wide receivers because wide receiver depth is deep. So I would be waiting on my wide
yeah,
receivers and grabbing them later on. But dude, that just sucks. Like you're because in a regular league, it's one quarterback, one flex. You're adding another quarterback and another flex. So there should be at least 7 bench spots, in my opinion. That's really hard. Hope that helps. So, uh, Texas Democrat. The Eagles are the worst team in the NFL. I mean,
we won't say we
we're
won't say no to that.
we don't want to defend nobody. I mean, look, I'm a Washington fan. You're a Giants fan. We don't like the Eagles, but we respect the Eagles, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Oh,
with all due respect, Texas
sorry.
Democrat, I do think the Texans are probably the worst team in the NFL, and I don't think it's that close because Deshaun's not even there. But I respect you for being a Texans fan. That is much respect, right?
Yeah, praying for Texas and Texans fans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Connor,
yeah, Connor, go for it.
who's the best rookie tight end besides Kyle Pitts?
Pat
That's a good
Frymouth.
question. And I think like at this point, it's no longer based off of talent; it's based off of situation, right? So if we look at the tight ends that are rookies, I need to actually pull up my rookie rankings.
Well, it's really just what three: Pitts, Frymouth, Brevin, and Hunter Long. Four.
Yeah, I think Fryermuth is probably like the ideal next selection. Fryermuth would be the guy. I think he's been named Baby Gronk. He has kind of the ability to be found in the end zone. Big body guy. I think Fryermuth. The thing is, I really like Brevin Jordan. I have him on a dynasty league, and I
He's just on the
want him to
Texans.
get opportunity. He's just on the Texans, right? So we'll see.
Texans got some talent though. Be careful, man.
I will say though, in Dynasty, I say this almost every live stream because I want people to know. If you're looking for a taxi spot tight end, go get Noah Gray, the tight end that got drafted by the Chiefs out of Duke. He is the heir apparent to Travis Kelce. Kelce's 32 years old, and I think Gray's going to spend the next couple of years learning under Travis Kelce. If you watch his tape at Duke, this guy can contribute in the NFL. So those guys on the Chiefs are just getting older. So let's see. Gator fan says, I'm hoping I don't have to draft a kicker in defense because I don't want to give away my strategy. I'm hoping I don't have to draft it, but I don't want to ask. I mean, I don't think what you're saying is you would like to stream kickers and defenses, right? Not have them drafted. Some people do that. Could make sense for you. And yeah, I mean, it could be a good strategy. Fill your bench up and then maybe make some trades before week 1, right?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a master
Sean,
plan.
in Gator fans leagues, you don't have to start a tight end at all. So I wouldn't take any tight end besides Kelce. If that's true, I mean, I would still consider Darren Waller, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, T.J. Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, but I wouldn't draft them anywhere near as high as I did in a league that needs tight ends.
Yeah,
But yeah, Texans fans needs to chill.
bruh. That's just Bance, isn't it?
That is Bance.
I mean, that's any other questions? If you have any questions, I think one thing we can say, RSA is in the description below, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys like sports memorabilia, go to the description below. We have a discount code for you, FL15 on
You want to
us.
show them the site?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Give me
Yeah.
1 second. Let me just try to pull the site up, and then I'll switch over
Yeah.
to it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, this is
Here we
RSA. This is
go.
a company that we have partnered with.
Yep. They're sponsoring our live shows this year.
So they do all sports memorabilia. So obviously, if you go to autographs, they have football, baseball, hockey, soccer, wrestling, boxing, all this other stuff. Obviously, we are in the football industry. These are all the things that you can get. 15% off. Everything on this website is 50% off besides playing cards. Okay, we are hoping to be giving away some signed autograph jerseys this year. Thank you to our partners from RSA. We're going to be
Mhm.
trying to get some more and more jerseys coming in. They do have
Link
some,
is in the chat, by the way, if you want to visit.
yeah.
Um,
So
I'll just say these guys are awesome. I mean, they're the only reason we've been able to give away jerseys all last year.
mm-hmm,
They're sponsoring the new live show, as Badaki said. And when we wanted to partner with them, we said, look, we really want a discount code for our followers. Like, we really want to be able to give them something for people who don't win the jerseys. So I know there's a bunch of people out there who like sports memorabilia, who like signed jerseys, and these guys are great. So make sure to check them out. You can use our code if you want any discount. Doughboy says Texans need to figure out what to do at quarterback before the Texas Democrat says that stuff about the Eagles. So Doughboy's an Eagles fan. Obviously, the other guy's a Texans fan, and
mm-hmm.
you can see the anger there. Um, all right, I like this question from Connor. He says, "Cut, start, and bench," which we could say
Keep trade
keep
cup.
trade cut essentially, right? Keep trade cut. So Herbert, Brady, Dak, based on current form. I like that question. That's a cool question. So Herbert, Dak, and Brady. Now, I think there's two different answers depending if we're talking about fantasy or real life, right? I
Okay.
think in fantasy, it has to be for me. I would. So he's actually asking cut, start, bench. Okay, so cut, start, bench. In fantasy, I would start Dak Prescott, I would bench Brady, and I would cut Justin Herbert. And I know you don't agree, but that's what I would do this year in fantasy. Not in Dynasty, just in redraft leagues. You would.
I'm just trying to think. I
I
I would
think
I would agree.
you would start Herbert.
I would no. I would start Dak. I would. I would start. I want to say I want to cut Brady, but I think
Well, in your rankings, that's what you would do.
you got my rankings up. I don't even got my rankings up right now.
I mean, you got Herbert as your tight end, as your quarterback 4, if I remember correctly,
Yeah, but
right?
we're talking about right here, right now. We're talking about right here.
Yeah, as in I'm literally telling you redraft fantasy. What would I do? This is right here, right now.
I would personally say Dak, cut Brady, Herbert as players.
Okay.
If for I get it for my rankings, it was probably Herbert. It's probably start Herbert, bench Dak, cut Brady. But I
Yeah,
like it.
that is what it is.
I just like it the other way around.
Hmm. Okay. Um. So interesting. In in just a football perspective, not fantasy, I think I would have to start Brady, bench Herbert, and cut Dak. If it's just for a football perspective, like what do I want right now with their form on my team? I want Tom Brady starting. I want Justin Herbert on my bench, and I'll
Right.
cut Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Van Jefferson as a stash in dynasty leagues?
Mm,
Uh, I honestly feel like Van Jefferson's opportunity went out the window. Um,
when Julio came on board.
well, no, he's with the Rams. You're thinking of
Oh,
you're thinking of I can't remember his name, but
isn't
you
it
know what?
like
Van Jefferson's a decent stash.
isn't it like Jeff
Um,
Jefferson? Is that the other guy I'm thinking about?
the other guy's name you're thinking of is
Who's the other
let me
Jefferson that I'm blanking on
Titans
right now?
depth chart. I don't think his name is Jefferson. I could be wrong. Let me find this out for you. Josh Reynolds is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, what the hell? Okay.
Uh, I mean, personally, I don't know. I mean, the arrival of Tutu Atwell is they're different players, but it's like I still think Cup and Woods will be on this team for a while. They both signed long-term contracts. Tutu Atwell arrived. He was their first pick this year. I don't know. It's hard to see a pathway for Van Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how long those guys have in their contract. Give me a
I'm
second.
pretty sure 3-year contracts.
Cooper
He
Cup.
says I have DK and Scary Terry as my 1 and 2 options. At 3, Claypool, Chark, Sutton, and Jefferson. I'm stashing. Okay. So you have a good wide receiver room for sure. Claypool, Chark, Sutton are all guys that could fill in as a wide receiver 3. And Jefferson's stashing. Jefferson's an okay stash. Like I said, it's just hard to see a pathway to fantasy relevancy right now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of pieces there. And the thing that worries me even more, I know they're different players, but they brought in Deshaun Jackson. Like they didn't say, "Hey, Van Jefferson's ready to contribute." They kind of did the opposite. They brought in more wide receivers. So that is a little bit alarming.
Yeah.
I think there's other players that you could stash instead.
Yeah, 100%. I just looked at Woods and Cooper. Cooper Cup has another 2 years, and Woods has like another 4 years or another 3 years.
Okay.
So I won't see any, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see any. They do both have potential outs in next year, 2022.
Okay.
But I think these guys will still stay on that team.
Yeah.
In my opinion. All right.
All right, we need to record a podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
So we will answer these last couple questions and then we should go record that podcast.
100%.
Okay. By the way, does anyone have a keep trade cut they want us to cover on the podcast today? If you have a keep trade cut scenario that you want us to cover, just comment it here and maybe we'll cover it on today's podcast for you. You can listen to it later. We'll give you full on details about that. Maybe we'll make a YouTube video about it. But even if there's a question that you specifically don't want us to talk about here, but you want us to cover on the podcast, we can do that because we're talking about the NFC East today on our podcast. So there will be some wiggle room for an extra segment. Yeah. Let's answer Josh's questions. What would you say if I asked the commissioner to drop the defense or kicker in the league and add a bench spot instead? If yes, would you drop defense or kicker? Yeah, I mean, I would be much happier to have more bench spots and less defense and kicker because
100%.
you're gonna find yourself on like when your defense and kicker's on bye. If it's a good defense and kicker, you're probably gonna have to drop them because your bench spots are so limited. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Arnav says I got offered Akers and Michael Gallup for Eckler and Judy in a PPR redraft. Should I do it? So this is redraft. So he gets the Eckler side.
I got offered Akers and Michael Gallup for Eckler and Judy in a PPR.
I would do it. I would rather have Eckler and Judy than Akers and Gallup. What about you?
Eckler and Judy, then Akers. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually am comfortable with that, especially because it's PPR.
Yeah, I was trying
so
to
like Eckler might be a little bit more valuable than Akers in a PPR. Sorry, my mouse is dead, so give me a second.
Okay. Stupid. Charge your mouse. Nah, all good. Tom, that is fair. I'm out of wide receiver stashes. I packaged Scotty Miller in a trade. Yeah, for Ginger's Rest. Okay, that's good. Gator fan, would you rather drop the defense or drop the kicker? I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's okay to drop kickers. I think defense, you can watch the defense as a whole, but that does also affect it a lot more.
Yeah, I was gonna say drop defense. Kicker's like a fun little like,
One,
oh,
2 points, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
whereas like a defense could ruin your week. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
A
exactly.
defense could give you negative points. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would
So
say kicker if I had to choose one.
if you wanted to be really, 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 really ballsy and
Mm.
go with defense, do it. I think that's fun personally. But
Nah, I would
I
rather
hear it
have
with
kicker than
kickers.
defense.
Kickers are just easy.
Crypto Cowboy, what's up, my guy? He said, hey guys, what's up? How are y'all? We are good. We're
Mm-hmm.
actually almost at the end of this live stream because we need to go record a podcast that will be released later today. If you have any final questions, let us know. I know you're in a slow draft at the moment. But we're about to record an NFC East predictions podcast. And if you guys don't know, we do have a podcast. It's available on all podcast platforms worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
You simply have to type in Fantasyland Football, and you'll be able to find us there. Covered the AFC last week. People loved it. Said, hey, do the NFC. So we're going to do it. Also, in the description of this video, at the very bottom of the description, you can see direct links to our podcasts. So we'll do a couple more questions, guys. We'll probably give you 2 more minutes, and then we're going to record this podcast so we can make sure and edit it before the day's over.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on DK?
Love.
Yeah, it's hard not to love DK. I mean, this is a guy. I'll say it's crazy how many people just passed on DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Can you pull up that draft? DK Metcalf draft. Was that 2019? Yeah. Okay. So 2019 NFL draft.
It was 8 wide
Let's have a
receivers
look.
taken
How
ahead
many?
of DK. 8 wide receivers.
8 wide receivers.
How were the 8 wide
So,
receivers somehow drafted
You
before?
had Marquise Hollywood Brown as the first wide receiver. That sucks.
Gosh,
Then you had N'Keal Harry. That also sucks. Debo Samuel. Still the verdict's out. AJ Brown. Wow. That was such a steal in the second for the Titans there. McCole Hardman. And then it was DK Metcalf. Or sorry,
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
JJ
Bruh.
Arcega-Whiteside, Paris Campbell, Andy Isabella, and then DK. Oh my God. Some of these teams have to be so pissed at themselves. Like, imagine if DK was on the Cardinals instead of Andy Isabella.
Yeah, it happened.
Oh my
It
God,
happened.
bro. Imagine if the Chiefs got DK Metcalf instead of McCole Hardman. Holy shit. That would be crazy.
Yeah. I think it was crazy.
Anyway, we love DK in both formats. 100% love him. Finally made it to round 24 of 27. So Crypto's he's in a slow draft. He's in round 24 of 27. Those slow drafts, that's some commitment, man. That's crazy.
Well, so what's the difference? You just go round by, like you do around the day type vibe?
It depends on there's so much flexibility on how you want your slow draft to look, but typically it goes over days, sometimes weeks, and essentially you get hours on end to make a pick. So he's got 4-hour time clock. So I mean, I would be like, let's get this thing going, guys. Let's make this
For
happen.
real.
But some people like the slow draft format. Tom, what's up, Tom Michaels? I don't think we've had you on the stream before. Welcome, bro. Hey guys, subscribe if you're not subscribed. We do these live streams, Q&A once a week, mock drafts, live streams 2 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I have Dangerous and Josh Allen in a Dynasty Superflex. I also have Carr. Is he worth trading or selling or keep him as a bye week insurance? Sorry, I'm trying to. So you have Russell Wilson, you have Josh Allen, you also have Derek Carr. I think he is worth keeping, to be honest, as a fill-in for the bye weeks. But the biggest answer is honestly, what could you get for him? Do you know what I mean? What could you get in return? So, what I would suggest is put him on the trade block, let everyone know he's available,
Yeah.
and then see what sort of offers you get back.
Right.
Because if you get something that's well worth your time, then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to make a move and trade him away.
No, makes sense. I actually don't mind that.
So
Sean, wait, is it Sean? Where are we? I just completely lost my. I love
No,
DK
it's
drafting in the
Tom. He says I
dynasty.
love DK. Yeah,
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 okay.
we love him
Crypto
too.
rookie running back Jefferson for Washington or tight end Dalton Schultz for Dallas or wide receiver Josh Reynolds for Tennessee for my next pick.
Justin Jefferson for Washington.
Jamar
Wait,
Jefferson. Jamar
Jamar Jefferson.
Jefferson,
Sorry.
Dalton Schultz, or Josh Reynolds for his next pick. 4 hour time clock. You have 4 hours
Oh,
to choose between those three people. That's what you're saying.
yes, 4 hours to make a decision.
You really go through the
So
whole research, watching every
Jamar
single one of those guys'
Jefferson.
types.
What do you mean when you say Jamar Jefferson for Washington?
From like Jamar Jefferson, didn't he get drafted to Washington?
No, I
Oh,
think Jarrett Patterson is
that
a
was
guy people
Patterson.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
out of
yeah.
Washington. He was an undrafted free agent. Jamar Jefferson is in Detroit. Um, I believe Jamar Jefferson plays for Detroit. He doesn't play for Washington. So, I mean, I'm a Washington fan. I don't help us understand that. He
I
has
think he
Dalton
meant for the
Schultz.
team because Schultz for Dallas, like from Dallas, and then Reynolds from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
but that's the thing. Jamar Jefferson doesn't play for
Yeah,
Washington.
he probably just mixed it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I personally would probably go Jamar Jefferson out of the options there. But I mean, I do think Dalton Schultz is a good value that late as well as a tight end.
I would personally go Jefferson. Um,
Okay.
I don't know. None of those are exciting. Maybe you take a chance on Reynolds, see what happens. Julio's gone
Nah,
after 2 years. Who knows? Who
I
knows?
think I would go. I think honestly, I think I would go Schultz. Oh, so he did mean Patterson. I love Jarrett Patterson.
Yeah, it's
I've been
Patterson then.
telling you about Jarrett Patterson. I personally think that J.D. McKissick is going to be faded out, if not this year, next year, and I think Patterson takes that third down role.
Yeah.
So if I had an option between all three of those guys, I would take Jarrett Patterson. Um, I have a 4-hour draft where clock gets turned off at night. Oh my gosh, you
No,
guys are crazy with these slow
I can't
drafts.
be doing
It's
that.
too much.
All right.
Uh,
um.
Tom says thanks, of course, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Crypto says subscribing tomorrow afternoon after the check hits for sure. Oh, so I think Crypto means he's going to play in a league with us.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah!
Okay,
If that's
crypto.
what you mean, bro, we're pretty
Yeah,
excited.
we're pumped. We can't wait, man.
Let us know if you have any questions about that as well. You can DM us on Instagram. You can join our Discord and ask us questions there. There's a link in the description of this video,
That's okay.
solo.to/fantasylandfootball.
Mm-hmm.
You can join our Discord through that link. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Tom says he enjoys. Yes, we're glad that you're here, man. Antonio Gibson, we love Gibby.
Yeah.
Got him last year, top 5 fantasy running back. Hail to the Washington football team. Hey, Tom's a Washington fan. That's my guy. That's my
I
people.
don't like that, Tom.
Hey, Tom, how do you feel about
The New York Football
us?
Giants, great team.
Come on, let's not waste our time. Holy shit, I'm in a freaking cooker right now. Need to get some air in here. I'm literally sweating. So anyway, it did come out that Washington will not use any native themes in their new name, which leads me to believe, because some people said it was going to be Washington Warriors, and I was like, please don't be the Warriors. Natives, I really want it to be the Wolves or the Red Wolves, and I really think that is going to be one of those two. I think if it's a Washington Red Wolves, that just sounds so badass, dude.
I think it should stay the Washington football team. I think the Washington football
No,
team is
give
already good.
me something to be behind, Anyway. So yeah, Tom, if you're a Washington fan, that's my people. But Crypto says that'll be dope too. LOL, be there. I bet it will be the Red Tails. Yeah, I've heard Red Tails as well. I really like the Red Tails, the Red Wolves, and the Wolves. If it's any three of those names, I'm down with it. I'm cool with it. The only thing is, just make sure the design is actually good. Like some of these designs I've seen on Instagram and Twitter, and they're like, "Here's my concept for the Red Wolves." I'm like, this looks like shit. Like, no offense, but I'm not trying to rep that. I'm not trying to buy that merch. So just make sure it's actually designed really well. I assume a multi-million-dollar billions technically, is going to invest into a good graphic designer. I'm actually a Chiefs fan, but I have Scary Terry and Gibson. Oh, nice, bro. I was born in Virginia, so I went to Washington games, and then I lived in Kansas City for all my teenage years. So Chiefs are my second team. If it goes to Washington Red Wolves, then I can see a lot of the red and black in NWO shirts in the crowd. The Wolfpack, yeah. I just think that could be so cool for branding. Like, welcome to the den, like, and then the defense is like the Wolfpack. Like, I just think that would be dope.
Welcome to the
Anyway,
Washington football team.
We should end this stream and do our podcast.
Yeah. All love, y'all. Thank you so much. Like, as always, patreon.com/fantasylandfam. If you want to play fantasy football, dynasty redrafts, or if you want to play in both leagues, there's an option for that. Patreon.com/fantasylandfam. The description or the link is in the description below. Also, RSA, use the promotion. 15% off. The code is FL15. That's also in the description below. If that's not in the description,
there's the link. I just placed the link in the chat.
Zach, just put in the chat. It actually just helps us if you just click on the link. Honestly.
Even if you click on the link, it's like they're realizing we're sending people to their website, so we get more opportunities to give away free jerseys.
Send it to your friends. Tell them about it. 15%. Send it to
set a reminder on your phone every hour.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure I go to this link.
Send it to your family chat and be like, open this link.
Yeah.
Actually, don't even say anything. Send it and they'll open it.
Yeah, and be like, this is not a scam.
Yeah. Nah, all love, y'all.
Anyway, all right. Have a good night. Look forward to hearing from you, Crypto. Thanks, guys, for hanging. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a live stream. We have a PPR redraft mock draft. Come hang out. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Podcast coming out soon tonight. See you later.
Deuces.